Good morning from Tenerife, particularly the town of Adeje, where finding a parking spot is a real challenge. We're here because we'll be hiking one of the most iconic trails on the island, the famous Barranco del Infierno, or Hell's Ravine in English. To hike this trail, you need a reservation. I'll post a link to the website in the description. The cost for both of us was 30 euros and you get a helmet and a briefing about how not to roll an ankle in the gorge. Also, there's a time limit. A ranger in the gorge makes sure everybody returns safely no later than 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The trail is regulated because only 300 people are allowed in the gorge daily, to prevent damage to the ecosystem, or so they say. As a result, the path is very well maintained, which makes this hike extremely easy and beginner-friendly. My watch clocked the trail at 9.5 kilometers out and back. The first half is on slopes of the ravine, with the best bits coming in the second half, when the trail actually reaches the bottom of the gorge. Eggheads unite! If you're coming here on a hot day as we did, you'll not only look like a half-boiled egg with the mandatory helmet, you'll also feel like one, at least until the path descends to the bottom of the gorge, where the vegetation changes drastically and for the better. There are plenty of people on the trail, you're not going to be alone. But another good thing about the rules imposed on this hike is that you won't run into bottlenecks, even though the trail can be quite narrow at times in the first half. As we advance into the gorge, the trail starts to descend and the vegetation gets more lush. We came here in October, so what you're seeing is not in blooming season. If you come in May or June, everything will be more colorful and you'll see a lot of the endemic species that are part of this fragile ecosystem. Already we can see the creek that originates from the waterfall at the end of the gorge. Part of the vegetation looks like what you'd normally find in a swamp, and it's a little strange to see water flowing in Tenerife as the island doesn't have rivers. With every step, the landscape becomes more dramatic. The wall seems to get taller and closer, as if we are slowly walking into a Tolkien book. And the best is yet to come. As Cornelia is testing the water of the creek, we encounter the first chestnut tree. Not a native species, but they thrive on the humid floor of the gorge. This big dead tree is also a chestnut, a bleached lifeless husk standing in a gorge named after eternal suffering. Essentially the botanical equivalent of a memento mori, reminding hikers that there's always something worse than a modest 300-meter elevation gain. Very Instagrammable, and I have yet to see a hiker pass up the chance to pose near its twisted corpse. The walls of the gorge are getting more and more spectacular, as a crescendo towards the ultimate reward, the waterfall at the end of the gorge. I'll let the visuals speak for themselves. The little creek is getting larger and we realize we're close to the waterfall. And there it is. You might say waterfall is a bit much for a trickle of water coming down 200 meters of rock face, but remember, this is said to be the only permanent natural waterfall in Tenerife, and that is a feat in itself. From here we return the same way we came, but with a lot of stops for photos since we're getting a new angle going back. It's been a gorgeous hike and we'll probably come back in spring to see the colors of the blooming season. If you like the video, please like and subscribe and click the bell so you'll know when we upload a new travel story. I'll leave you with a series of images we shot in the gorge. See you next time.